Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Business Studies lesson.
Let me just unmute them.
Okay,
I close them completely. I'll just be removing them when they misbehave. Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself, sir.
Okay.
Unmute the teacher. Unmute.
I've done so.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome back once again to Business Studies lesson. Last time we looked at the ledger and I promised that when we will look at how to post transactions. The topic we'll look at is recording business transactions. What we'll look at in today's lesson, first, we'll look at the rules for double entry bookkeeping. Last one, we'll look at recording business transactions in the ledger. The main reason why we shall first look at the rules for double entry bookkeeping, it's because you cannot post transactions to the ledger without you knowing what should guide you, which item to be put on the debit, which item to be put on the credit. So let's look at the rules for double entry bookkeeping. As you may be aware, every business transaction has a double effect on the equation and the business. So for this reason, we use the double entry principle to record transactions. Now, we shall look at the rules that will govern or that will help us when we are recording transactions in the books of accounts. The first one, we'll look at what should happen for you to make a debit entry. So I'll ask a question here. Does anyone know how and when can we make a debit entry? What should happen for us to say we'll debit at this particular time? Mr. Katete?
Yes, let me just pick the people. Sorry. Their hands, those who are doing the hands, no one is putting their hand.
Let me ask the question again.
Go ahead. Okay, there's one hand from
okay.
Mutula Machobani. Makopani.
Yes, for you to know that it's a debit entry, it is when the account is receiving. So when it is receiving, you debit it. When it is losing, you credit it.
Okay, that is very correct. That is very correct. So you only make a debit entry when the account is receiving. That's why the principle of double entry system states that debit the receiver, credit the giver. Now, there are different types of items that we put in an account. So each particular item will have a different effect. So let's begin by looking at the assets. So when the asset is gaining value, we should do debit. So whenever you purchase an asset, then you should make a debit entry. When you buy an asset, always make a debit entry. So whenever there is an increase in the value of assets, we should make a debit entry. I'm sure that one is very clear. Let's look at another one. Amount of a liability. We should make a debit entry. The other one, when there is an increase in the amount of expense, meaning that when you are paying for an expense, are we together? When you pay for an expense, meaning an expense account will receive, and the mode of payment, if you've paid by cash, meaning cash will give out, then an expense will receive. So when there is an increase in the amount of expense, we should make a debit entry. The other one, when we have a decrease in the amount of income, we know that incomes have a credit balance. So when an income receives, then it has to be credited. But when it reduces, it has to be debited. Let's look at the other side. All entries okay. Let's look at now when make a entry.
The network is poor where you are.
A credit entry will be made when the following happens.
Attention, we have lost the teacher. I'm sure it's due to network. So just take her, he'll be coming shortly. He'll be coming shortly. For today, we were supposed to have religious education, but due to technicalities, the religious education will be coming next week during business studies. So you are learning business studies at this point in time. Then what will happen is next week again, you will have series of tests, the timetable will be shared. For today, you will not manage to access the NotesMaster up to 11 hours or 12 hours. We are still doing the maintenance. There's a lot of maintenance going on and a lot of development. Very soon, in the coming 2 weeks, you'll be able to get it as an app. You can download it. But for those using the iPhones, you can download NotesMaster. It's already as an app. Trying to get the teacher. I'm trying to get the teacher, Dory. Just trying to get the teacher. Okay, the teacher is just on his way. the network where he is extremely bad, so you have to bear with us, but it's going to be in anytime. I can see one of it. Then as we are waiting for the teacher to be, you are there? Yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Katete?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, I was out. Okay. Can I continue?
Okay. Are you set?
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the teacher is in place. Thanks, that is in. You are welcome, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
You are on which slide?
Okay. So we first looked at when to make. I am on the rules for double entry bookkeeping, but the one that is dealing with the credit entry.
Okay.
You can see the screen?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Are you able to see the screen, Mr. Katete?
Yes, you're able to see.
I can continue?
Continue, sir.
Okay. First, okay. First, we looked at when to make a debit entry. Now we are looking at when to make a credit entry. So the business is giving out money. When money is leaving the business, we are paying for something. Then we should credit that particular account. But here are the different types of situations for different types of items. For instance, asset, liability, expense, and income. So when should we make a credit entry for expenses? Or when should we make a credit entry for assets? So we only make a credit entry in assets when there is a decrease in the
where you are, network is bad. Next time you change, you sit somewhere.
Okay. Let me just change now.
You wait for him. He's just changing the network system. We can't get the reception is bad. You tell us.
Okay. I've changed.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So these are the different types of situations when we should make a credit entry. I'll allow two people to ask questions. If at all you have any question regarding what you are able to see on the screen when to make a credit entry.
Okay, let me just check who is Mutula. First of all, some hands. Just a moment. There are hands here. The first hand is Mutula Machoban. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm just requesting you to give some examples on the rules you are giving us, because we might forget, because when you are explaining, we are getting the concept, so you give an example so that we can understand and it stays firmly in our head.
Okay. So that's a good contribution. So let me first give you an example on the first one. You're able to see there a decrease in the value of an asset. Suppose you have 4 vehicles, and those vehicles, we are calling them assets. So when you sell one vehicle, it means you are going to have 3 out of 4. So that one, the one vehicle that you've sold out, it means there is a decrease in the amount of vehicles you remain with. So the one you've sold, you have to credit because you will no longer be with it. Is that clear? Mutula?
Yes, sir. You credit the motor vehicle account or you credit your account?
You credit the motor vehicle account because you have given it out. You will no longer be with 4 vehicles, you remain with 3 vehicles. So 1 vehicle has been given out, so you credit it. So if the buyer happens to give you money by check, it means now the bank account which you receive money, it's the one that will be debited. Mutola, is it okay now?
Clear. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now let's look at an increase in the amount of liability. So we are saying you make a credit entry when there is an increase in the amount of a liability. An example here is that suppose you go to a shop and happens to get some goods on credit. So what would mean there is that you have not paid anything to that particular person. So you are still owing the owner of the shop. It means the amount to be paid later will be more. So since you have not given any cash, you've not given any check, it means that there is an increase in the amount you are owing your liability, your creditors, I mean. Now, let's shift our attention now to the steps to follow when posting transaction to the ledger. This is our main focus for today. I want by the end of this lesson for every one of you to be able to post any transaction to the ledger account. The rules that will govern us on how to post transactions to the ledger are as follows. The first thing you should do whenever you are given any type of transaction to post to the ledger, first, identify the 2 accounts involved. Secondly, you should identify the account to be debited first, then the account to be credited. After you've identified 2 accounts and 1 account, then you should make a summary of the accounts needed. You group them. I'll show you how that one is done. Then, after you've grouped a summary of accounts needed, then there will be need for you to record the transaction in each ledger account. So let's have an example here. If you have a pen where you are, I want you to quickly take note. I'll give you 2 minutes. Mr. Gatete?
Yes. Yes, they look at it 2 minutes.
Mr. Katete?
Yes, sir.
Please, I'm allowing them to, if they have a pen, yes. Then we'll continue from there.
They calculate.
If you have a pen, quickly take note. So I'll be asking you questions on each type of those transactions. They'll be able, we'll do it step by step. First step, then we'll follow the steps that are already put there. I'll guide them. I think we can proceed now.
Okay, you can put your hand. We can proceed.
Okay. Let's look at this example there. The following transactions relates to GZulu. You're required to prepare ledger accounts. So these transactions took place in January 2021. So on 1st January, started business with 100,000 at bank. Then on 4th, withdrew 40,000 kwacha cash from bank for business use. 8, paid rent by check, 1,000. On 11th, bought office equipment by check, 5,000. 12, bought goods by cash, 3,000 kwacha. On 15th of January, sold goods by check, 4,000. Then on 28th of January 2021, GZulu at 7,000 worth of goods were bought on credit from Musonda. So we shall follow very well these steps here. Step 1, we shall identify the 2 accounts required for each transaction. Then we shall identify the account to be debited and the account to be credited from those 2 accounts. So let's start by looking at January 1. I want someone now, since you all have those questions there, I want someone to tell us what 2 accounts are involved in transaction number 1. He started business with 100,000 at bank. I want someone. Mr. Katete, you can allow one person?
Yes, there is a Mutula. Others, you are encouraged to ask as well, where you are not clear. Mutula.
We have the capital account and the bank account.
Okay, that is very correct. Excellent. So when you start a business, it means the money used to start a business, it's called the capital. So we have a capital account as well as the bank account. So now that we have identified the accounts, the 2 accounts involved, I want another person to tell us between capital account and bank account, which account is going to be debited. Between capital account and bank account in transaction number 1, which account will be debited? I want someone to give us the answer.
Oh, there is one same person. What about others now? What about others? There's Patience Mumba. Patience,
Okay.
you can answer. Then Patience Victor Kagori, you can answer too. Patience, you can unmute and answer. Or Victor, you can unmute and answer. Any of you. Go ahead.
Account.
Capital account, sir.
Okay. Patience, you said capital account will be debited?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's allow another one to answer. Okay. Thank you for your contribution. Let's allow another person to answer.
Mumfias Kagori. Kagori. There is the iPhone 6. Who is using iPhone 6s? When you answer, mute your phone or else. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead asking. Then there's another hand, the Happy Tembo.
Bank account. Bank account.
Okay. Thank you so much for your answer.
There's Abigail again.
Bank account.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. So, okay. So, since we just have two accounts, capital and bank, and you've given us different answers. Others are saying we'll debit capital and others are saying we'll debit bank. So let's look at the two. Between capital and cash, you should know that capital is a liability. And when there is an increase in the liability, the rule I gave you is that we should credit that account. And when we have a decrease in an asset, we should make a credit entry. So let us answer it in this particular manner. So I'll edit this particular part. So January 1, we have two accounts there. So first, bank will be debited. Then capital account will be credited. So that question, will answer it in that particular manner. Do we have anyone who has any question? And was any question on how we have answered question 1? Started business with 100,000 at bank. So capital. Mr. Katete?
There are two hands up. There is one he wanted to contribute.
There is feedback. If you've just joined, mute your mic.
I will remove them when you come in. Okay, one, you can, one.
I was asking about account bank.
Account bank. Okay, you wait for the teacher. I think he has got challenges where he is. Okay. Mr. Mudulu is asking about account bank. Mr.
Sir?
Mudulu is asking about account bank. One is asking about account bank.
One person is asking about account bank.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share a different screen. Here. Okay. In this question here, we just have capital account and the bank account. So there is an increase in a liability, which is capital. So that's why we have credited capital. And again, at the same time, we have an increase in an asset called bank. So we have debited an asset bank. Now let's shift our attention to the second question. On 4th January 2021, withdrew 40,000 cash from the bank for business use. So I want someone to identify two accounts involved in this particular transaction. Identify the two accounts involved in this transaction. Withdrew 40,000 cash from the bank for business use. Two accounts involved. Let one person, Katete.
You want, okay, just a moment, I help you. Okay, here what we have got.
One.
One. We have got
Okay.
one.
I think it's bank account and credit account.
Come again.
I think it's bank account and credit account.
Okay. So you've told us that there is bank account and credit accounts in this transaction. Let's allow one more person to contribute to this same question.
One person.
Mr. Katete, allow one person.
One person is Karen. Karen, you can go ahead. Karen, go ahead.
There's the bank account and the cash account.
Okay, that's very correct. So we have the cash account and the bank account. What is happening here is this. You go to the bank without money in your pocket. Then when you go there, you happen to withdraw from your bank account, meaning the money you were having in your bank account has now been given to you in your own hands. You come back with it. So meaning we have two accounts, cash account and bank account. So between now cash account and bank account, which one are we going to debit? Which account is receiving between cash and bank? I will allow one person to give us the account to be debited. Allow only one person, Mr. Katete.
Gabriel, you can answer.
We're going to debit bank account.
It says we are going to debit bank account. Okay, The correct answer, Gabriel, look, we are saying that you debit the receiver. You've gone to the bank to take some money from the bank into your pocket. It means that the bank account will give to your cash account. So in that case, on January 4th, what we have is going to receive, we will debit it, while bank is giving, we are going to, so say it in particular manner. Gabriel, you've sent. Now, let's look at it on 11th. Bought office equipment by check, 5,000. So I want someone to give us 2 accounts which are in this particular transaction. 2 accounts involved.
Nathaniel wants to give out. You can go ahead, Nathaniel.
2 accounts involved.
Cash account and bank account.
Cash account and bank account. Wait for the teacher to come in.
I'm in already.
Cash account and bank account. And Kapepe has got a question too.
Okay.
Kapepe, go ahead. Kapepe. Kapepe, we are removing you. Now, how are you going to do the work? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. We want now to answer this transaction which happened on 8th January. Paid rent by check. Paid rent by check. What are the 2 accounts involved in this transaction?
Stella, we are removing you.
Allow one person to answer.
There's Iriji. Mutala. Iriji. Iriji. You can proceed, sir.
Okay, I can see you can allow Karen or Mutula to answer.
You can go ahead, Karen or Mutula.
So we have the rent account and the bank account.
Okay, that's very correct. In this transaction, we have a rent account. And when you see where it is written check, it means that's the bank account. So we have identified 2 accounts involved, that is rent and bank. So I want another person now to tell us between rent and bank, which account are we going to debit? One person to tell us between rent account in this transaction and bank account, which account are we going to debit?
Same person. What about others? You have got Mutula, sir, on your...
Go ahead, Mutula.
Yes, we are going to debit the rent, which is receiving the money, and credit the bank account, which is losing the money in form of check.
That is very correct. So let us answer it here. Rent, then bank account, like that. So the bank is losing money and rent is gaining the money. So we are paying for rent using bank. Let's quickly move. I'll be very for number 11 there. Bought office equipment by check. 2 accounts involved. Let's move quickly. 1 person to answer. 2 accounts involved in this transaction.
Mutula, same person. We need also you others to be proactive. You need to take part. You need to participate.
Yes, we have the office equipment account, which was purchased, and the bank account, which was losing the money.
Go ahead again before you unmute.
We have the office equipment and the bank account.
Between the two, which one are we going to debit so that we quickly move to another question? Between the 2 accounts, which one are we going to debit?
We debit the office equipment, which was given money for it to be purchased, and the bank account is credited because it was losing money.
That's very excellent. Excellent. So let's quickly answer. January 11, office equipment. Then we have bank account. So I'll help you now by answering the remaining 3 questions quickly. Bought goods by cash. So bought goods. Whenever you hear this term, bought goods, it means that it's purchases. So transaction number 2, we have purchases account and cash account. So in this case, since we've bought goods, okay. Thank you, Mr. Katete. You helped me.
To clear.
I wanted to clear.
Okay, stop you can stop the.
Okay.
Stop sharing. It's done? Okay. Are you done now?
Yes, it's done. I wanted to clear the writings.
Okay,
I wanted to clear the writings. Now that they are gone, we can move on.
There's someone else who has done that now. Let me just clear.
Okay, so we proceed now. Now that we know how to handle these questions there, we have purchases. Let's quickly answer the remaining 2 so that we move on. Sales and bank.
Those who are writing, I've started removing you, so just wait, it's your turn. Eh? There was someone who was writing on the screen, you are going. I've spotted you, thank you.
Okay. Finished answering these questions. The last one is on 28th, 7,000 worth of goods were bought on credit from Musonda. So since we got it from Musonda will be credited. Then what we got were goods purchases. This one happened on January 15, the other one on January 28. Now that we have finished looking at step 1 and step 2, where we have identified the two accounts involved. Oh, okay, okay. Can you now get me correctly now?
Yes.
Okay. Now that we are done looking at step 1, which is identifying two accounts involved, and the second step, identifying which one to be put on the debit and which one to be put on the credit. Let's now move on to step 3. So, as you can see from this question here, we have bank, capital, rent. So, when you are summarizing, only pick one name. Even if it is appearing 7 times, pick it as one. So when you are making a summary, from here, we'll make a summary of items which are appearing, even if they are appearing twice, but to get it once, one. So I want someone to tell us the summary of all these accounts. Those that are appearing twice or 3 times, just mention them once. So when making a summary, it will look like this. We are going to have capital account, bank account, cash account, rent account, office equipment account, purchases account, sales account, and Musonda account. Because those are the accounts we have. We have bank here, capital there, cash, rent, office, purchases, Musonda, sales. We cannot mention bank again many times. No. So that is how you make a summary. You just pick each name, each item, write it once, like that. So the summary of accounts needed to record the above transaction as follows. We've only picked one. Now, let's start now posting these transactions to, again, can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, all right. We've come now to the last step. The last step, we identified cash capital account. So this is how now the account will look like. This is how you post to each particular account. You open, remember, we made here a summary. If you look at this, the first transaction, it had bank and capital. So open a capital account, and in capital, I'm going to credit account here.
Cecilia,
the title
we are taking you out of the class.
And we identify that capital will be credited. You want for credit capital account. The other transaction, the other summary. Okay. The other summary we need to make is account. So go for all the transactions that have the word bank. What have there? Cash, rent, equipment, sales. In other words, we'll go to, when we come here,
okay, the teacher is back.
Okay, sorry for that. The network was very bad. It's very bad today. So we are going only to pick accounts having bank, anywhere where there bank. So you discover that January there is bank. January 1, we have 4th January there is bank, 8th January there is bank, 11th January there is bank, then 15th January. So the bank account will look like this. It will look like that. Capital, bank receipt, so debit. We paid someone by cash, we credited. Rent was paid, credited. Equipment was credited, sold some goods, bank. So this is a summary of how the bank account works. When the bank account has received some money, it is debited. And when the bank account has given some money, it will be credited like that. Let's see how cash will be done. Since we just add 2 items, which are the cash, and those transactions, one happened on January 4th, the other one happened
Wait for the teacher. He's having a challenge of network today. You wait for the teacher. Okay, the teacher is good.
Today I have bad network. Okay. So in simple terms, when you come to step number 4, you make sure that you prepare each account, these accounts here. All these accounts we see here. Capital account, you prepare, bound, all the transactions, you group them in individuals. So it's not for you to do because of here. You've already go to bank, you will know. Suppose, for instance, here, to open office equipment. Office equipment of debited. So open on itself. Could debit, you are going to pull it.
If your mic is unmute, I'm taking you out of the room. Okay, teacher, welcome back. Welcome back, teacher.
We've even come to the end. Thank you. We've come to the end of our lesson for today. All those are the accounts which you can prepare. So at this point in time, I want you, if you have any question, you can ask. If you have any question, you can
Okay, there are questions, although you are not audible enough.
Okay, come to the so I want question.
There is a Patience Mumbai is asking. Patience, you can ask. Today it seems the day is bad. The network is. Yes,
the network is very bad.
Patience. Okay, just text. Just text. Cecilia Mtema will take you out of the room. Kapinga, you have got a question?
Sir, I can't get what she's saying.
What he's saying. The network was bad. Okay. Patience, mute your mic. Okay, fine.
Okay. It's time for questions. So allow 4 questions before we close the lesson.
The first question is Comfort Bwewupe. Please go ahead.
Sir, I'm asking, are you going to send the assignment or NotesMaster?
Okay, I'm posting a different assignment.
Sir, because of when I seem to download NotesMaster, it doesn't bring exactly the way the sir told us. So I'm asking.
There is maintenance going on. So for this morning and a few days, maybe in the afternoon it will stabilize. So this time around, when you try to go there, you will not get the results. Okay. In the evening,
yes,
I will announce. So the engineers are busy working to increase the space and make it more reliable for you.
Yes, sir.
Nathaniel.
Sir, I'm failing to access NotesMaster.
Starting from when? When was your last? When?
Last week.
Last week. You are in which group? Telegram or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
You post your question. Just post your question in the group there. Most of you are texting me. I receive 1,000 texts in an hour. So now if you text me, I delay, then you find that your posting is not attended to. So go post in a group there. If someone is not asking, remind. Of course, someone will be able to get you from.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, those who are texting that I'm from this, I will chase you straight away. So you need to behave. Those who have just joined, please do your best to be disciplined. Okay. Chivare Kapinga, I will remove you. Another question comes from Walinase. Go ahead.
Any questions relating to this lesson?
To the lesson? Question related to the lesson.
It was about NotesMaster.
Yes, about NotesMaster. What's the problem? Talk to me.
Like I was able to get the account now when logging, it's failing.
I announced and sent a circular in the morning to say you are not going to access. There's maintenance going on, meaning until after 14 hours. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this time, you after 14 hours, we'll let you know. Just read very well in the group. And don't forget that 18 hours, the lesson is starting for for integrated science. Okay, I think, sir.
Yes,
anything? Sir. It seems we are done. Mutula still has got a question for you.
Okay, let's take that one, then we go.
Mutula? Oh, we have closed the session. Thank you so much, guys. Greetings home.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
I'm closing now.
Bye.